Pickles!
Pickles.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Razor from RazorTube coming at you now with some Rust Council Beta monuments. Now, this obviously is pertaining to the Rust Council Beta that's coming out soon that we just found out recently. And or you can use this during your full release when you decide to go ahead and load up Rust for the first time. Boom. I'm here with our boy, Jade Monkey. Go ahead and say hi.
Yeah.
And gosh, he's crazy. And we're basically going to go and this is just going to be a dome monument guide and show you exactly what's on the dome, what kind of loot you can get here, what you can do like along the dome, and just show you what it's all about. So let's get into it, shall we? Alright, Jade's just flying away. Alright, so the dome. It's definitely one of the first structures to like lay foot onto a map in Rust, period. It's a huge staple. Very, very big, and basically what it is one big jump puzzle when you approach it. So what can you get at the dome that's more important than any other monument? I'll show you the loot and you can decide for yourself, but I'm gonna guess low-grade fuel, to be honest. When you first start off in Rust and you're naked and say, well, for instance, here we're in the winter biome, you'll have to dress warm. You have to know about radiation. And what that is some monuments have certain radiation levels that can kill you if you're not wearing clothes to protect you. In this case, the dome, you have to have 10% rad protection. I have 28, so I'm good. But for beginner players, you can't just run up on the dome and start taking loot whenever you want if you're not wearing any clothes, because you're just going to melt. Alright, so the loot. What can we get at the dome for loot? Up these gas cylinders here, you have barrels of all kinds, low-grade fuel, normal barrels that can give you components and certain items to craft other items within the game. But most importantly is underneath the dome, which you have your low-grade fuel barrels. And the red, you can break them open, get some low-grade fuel. It's basically used for crafting like furnaces, or they're used in any other vehicle in the game, such as the helo, or helicopter rather, the car, or the boats in Rust. So it's a good place to collect low-grade fuel in order to kind of advance into, you know, other tiers, I should say. Anyways, so there's two things that come out of a low-grade fuel barrel, and that's a low-grade fuel and crude oil. What can you do with crude oil? You could take it to a refinery. Well, an oil refinery for that matter. Kind of looks like this. You basically put wood in and smelt down the crude oil, and then you get charcoal, and then you'll get low-grade fuel as a byproduct. Pretty awesome. So, a crossbow or a nail gun. Why are they important? It's because it's a low-cost weapon, and typically you kind of got to catch people off guard when coming to the dome, because a lot of people come here to get all the barrels and wooden crates and the top tier loot at the tippity top of the dome, which I'll talk about later. Here in the beginning, when you start to ascend the dome, you'll see some crates. Then you get a wood crate, then you get another barrel. Pretty cool. You get components from that. Components are used to make many things in Rust, so you always want to take it back and depot the loot from the dome in your base, or recycle it. Recycler. The recycler is used to basically grind up certain items, and you get certain resources from them, or materials, or mats, if you want to call it that. and you can use them for all types of crafting inside of Rust. Now, just for example, in this first wood crate in the middle, you can tell I get sheet metal, and then a building block, such as like a floor triangle grill, and some scrap, which is the in-game currency for Rust. The dome itself is one big jump puzzle, like I mentioned in the beginning, and scattered around it, and the inside and outside, you'll see wooden crates, military crates, and barrels and low-grade fuel. Now, I'm just going to show you here how we go up top. There's multiple ladders, there's multiple ramps, and the dome can be kind of scary and intimidating to your very first Rust player or experience. Now you got Jade Monkey, who's on the helicopter, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. I gotta go across this first jump, and then this jump. Like I said, this is one big jump puzzle, and if you're first playing Rust on console, period, it doesn't matter full release or beta, this is scary and intimidating. Make sure you be careful when you go to the dome. I typically like bringing like a battle buddy or something, just so we can both loot and watch each other's back, because there's a lot of twists and turns inside the dome where people can sit up top and camp, sit below and camp, and kind of catch you off guard while you're doing these difficult types of jumps. Oh my goodness, this guy.
I didn't even know you could do this.
Well, apparently you can bring a helo into the dome.
Very
But
hard.
Each floor you go in on, you can find different tiers of loot. Like for instance, in this one crate, we find a revolver. It's kind of beginner, tier loot, but it's really good. This is the worst jump in the dome. It's a steel beam along a catwalk, and I can't stress this enough. If you got shaky hands, don't do this. If you're feeling risky, do it, but this is a hard jump. Oh my goodness, I made it. Alright, but see, the higher you go, the more loot you can see from up top. If you look, you got like wooden crates down low, barrels and whatnot. Helo that shouldn't be here. And then...
No! Oh, it's the end of me. Yep, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness. I can't even be serious.
Oh, that's so funny.
As you get to the top, you'll notice some barrels and whatnot, but the real loot that we need from the dome is at the very, very top. Now, if you got a helo and you don't crash it like Jade Monkey, and you're rich, you happen to be able to keep your helo within the beginning of the wipe, you can always bring one up, and I do believe it's a half hour in between cycles, but
yeah, roughly for the crates.
yep, there's military crates at the top, and there's 4. So as you can see, we get more scrap here, more than usual. Typically you get 5 in like lower tier like crates, barrels, and whatnot, but here you get 8. You get a CCTV camera, which you can use when you have a computer station inside of your base. Oh, dude, we got what is this? A rifle body for like
I
AKs.
know, right?
Oh, dude, a smart switch, more scrap. This is all top tier loot on top of the dome. Oh my gosh, heavy armor, more scrap. This is insane.
I know.
Oh, and tech trash. That's like very high tier loot. That's when you start dabbling into rockets and C4. Anyways, needless to say, the dome in general is good for loot of all kinds and for all sorts. From your beginner game loot all the way to your end game loot. Now, do be careful when you do get the military crates at the bottom or at the top of the dome, because now if somebody has a computer station in their base, it doesn't matter where they're at on the map. And if you can see here as I just scroll around and show you the map, how big it is. There's actually a functioning camera at the top. If you type in dome inside of your computer station, you can use this camera to hear if anybody's like kind of walking around or has a vehicle parked or flying around like this guy. Jeez.
That hit me.
Did it really?
Yeah, I heard it go tink tink.
Oh man. But you can actually use that camera to your advantage, so you can know people are at the dome, like camping it or getting the loot. Typically what I like to do is start a timer. Whenever I take the military crates, I'm like, okay, well, a half hour from now I can come back. What I wouldn't recommend is coming here by yourself. Oh my goodness. Seriously? Oh my god. Anyways, for more advanced players, there's multiple ways to get up the dome, but needless to say, this is the easiest way to go. You can typically find out if anybody's been here, if the loot boxes are missing, but most of the time you're going to find a lot of conflict around here because the low-grade fuel and the high-tier loot at the top. Coming back down is a little bit easier than ascending the dome. Obviously, it's one of the biggest structures in the game, and it's hard to like navigate around it. But once you played Rust enough, you'll get used to the jumps. Also, when you're coming here to loot, my suggestion is to bring a battle buddy. Mine is typically Jade, and he's always watching my back while I'm looting, kind of seeing if there's campers or whatnot. But feel free to sit around a corner and wait for the most vulnerable Rust player, because you know what? It's going to happen to you multiple times, especially your first wipe, and you're going to be like, what is this place? And, oh, here we go. Sorry, I gotta pay attention to this. Oh. But always make sure to have a battle buddy. Take the loot, depot it at your base. If you want to get the crude oil underneath and burn it, I wouldn't typically put it in the oil refinery here. I'd go to the outpost and use it. And that's it for the dome. Check it out. Thanks for stopping by. Drop a sub. Drop a like. If you guys want more guides on more monuments for the beta or for full release on console of Rust, you can always go to my channel at RazorTube or Jade Monkey. And I will see you guys in our next guide. Bye.
I got you. Not so good with the nail gun.
I'm not even good with the crossbow.